title of our presentation is the relationship between well-being, sustainable well-being and foreign direct investment, a case study for Albania. Arben KAMBO, Defrim CAKA, Alma DELİJA. Department of Mathematics and Informatics, Agriculture, University of Tirana, Albania. Department of Economics, University Alexander Moisiu Durrës, Department of Agrobusiness Management, Agriculture, University of Tirana. Paper type. The structure of the study: 1. Introduction. 1.1 Economic measurement, Sustainable Development Indicator, Literature review. 2. Description of Human Development Index, Sustainable Development Index and Foreign Direct Investment. 2.1 The Human Development Index, ADI. 2.2 Sustainable Development Index, SDI, and 2.3 Foreign Direct Investments, FDI. 3. Data resources, analyze techniques and objective of the study. 3.1 Data sources. 3.2 Regression analysis and estimation methods, and 3.3 Objective and hypothesis of the study. 4. Results and discussion. 4.1 Description of foreign direct investments in Albania. 4.2 Discussion, and 4.3 Conclusion. 5. References. Sustainable development. Development that meets the needs of the present without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs. The Brundtland definition introduced both the time dimension, present, the future, and the space dimension. Society has a number of available resources that are necessary to maintain human well-being all the time. These resources can be described in terms of economic, natural, human, and social capital. Sustainable development is a matter of distributional justice across time and space. The well-being of present and future generations crucially depend on how society uses its. Here we present in figure 1 capital and human well-being. As you can see, capital is economic capital, natural capital, human capital, and social capital. And natural capital is related with ecological. We present sustainable development now versus later. And here are human well-being, consumption, and capital now versus later. And present sustainable development here versus elsewhere. Human well-being, consumption, and capital here and elsewhere. And the relationship between different places with export, imports, financial transfers, and migration. Human Development Index, ADI. Human Development Index was created by the United Nations Development Programme to measure human development, wellness, and quality of life in society across multiple dimensions. ADI measures development along 2 social dimensions and 1 economic dimension to provide a slight broader indicator based on a widely available population measure. We use ADI 1 per capita GNI as a proxy for material and economic well-being, 2 population life expectancy as a crude proxy for general health and bodily wellness, and 3 an education index based on averaging the mean years of schooling for adults over 24 years old and expected years of schooling for school-age children as a crude proxy for mental development of human capabilities. There are two steps to calculate HDI value. Minimum and maximum values are set to transform the indicator expressed in different units into indices between 0 and 1. They are set at the following tables: dimension indicator, minimum and maximum; health, life expectancy in years, minimum 20, maximum 80; education, expected years of schooling, years 0, 18; mean of years of schooling, years 0, 15; standard of living, GNI per capita, in 27 PPP dollars, minimum 100 and maximum 70,000. Dimension index is calculated actual value minus minimum value divided by maximum minus minimum value. And here we calculate HDI. Sustainable Development Index. Human Development Index has long been criticized for not taking into account ecological sustainability. This limitation is become increasingly problematic given the growing crisis of climate change and ecological breakdown in the 21st century. Resources should be mobilized to improve human development, but without violating the parameters of ecological sustainability. It starts with the base components of HDI, life expectancy index, education index, and income index, modified with a sufficiency threshold, and divides it by ecological overshoot, the extent to which consumption-based CO2 emissions and material footprint exceed per capita shares of planetary boundaries. To succeed in terms of SDI, poor nations must significantly improve human development while keeping their ecological impact within planetary boundaries. Rich nations must maintain or enhance human development while significantly reducing their environmental impact down to sustainable levels. The data for components of the Development Index is derived from the United Nations Development Programme using the same dataset that underlines HDI. Sustainable Development Index, SDI. The Ecological Impact Index can be described as follows: development program using the same dataset that underlies HDI. Overshoot of either boundary with yield an average overshoot of greater than 1. The planetary boundaries are calculated as follows. For material use, the sustainable threshold is regarded as about 50 billion tons per year. Dividing this by the global population in any given year renders the boundary in per capita terms. For 2019, the boundary is 6.5 tons per person. For CO2 emissions, we can use IPCC's 2018 SR15 report to estimate the carbon budget for a 67% change of staying between 1.5 grades Celsius and 2 grades Celsius, and to render this budget in per capita terms. For 2019, the boundary is 1.58 tons per person per year. In Ecological Impact Index, average overshoot is indexed in a natural exponential scale. Adding 1 ensures that the minimum result is 1, no overshoot. You can see here in the formula 5 average overshoot. Just like square roots of material footprint divided by the boundary if greater than 1, and CO2 divided by boundary if greater than 1. And if average outshoot is greater than 4, then ecological impact index is equal average outshoot minus 2. Sustainable Development Index, SDI. This method ensures that the country cannot compensate for overshooting one boundary by undershooting the other. Overshoot of either boundary will yield an average overshoot of greater than 1. The sufficiency threshold brings the income index in line with other human development index, education and life expectancy, in terms of what we know of the relationship between income and social outcomes. This method ensures that the SDI is an indicator of strong sustainability. Countries cannot use low ecological impact to compensate for poor performance of economy. 2.3 Foreign direct investments, FDI, is a purchase of an interest in a company by a company or investor located outside its borders. We use foreign direct investment net inflows in the host country, percent of GDP, as the variable of FDI. The investment brings not only foreign currency but also employment growth, the potential transfers of technologies and technical expertise. Potentially, FDI can also introduce cleaner technologies that might contribute to sustainable development. However, FDI is driven primarily by the need to meet shareholder expectation, especially for investment. What kind of economic growth does FDI bring? The debate on the environmental consequences of FDI is one of the central issues in the wider discussion about globalization and sustainable development, and has been very heated. Some commenters are concerned that countries with low environmental standards to attract FDI. Others argue that foreign investments bring more environmentally friendly technologies. In this view, FDI is the best way to disseminate new and cleaner technologies. Moreover, a slow but steady increase in environmental standards might result. Poverty is the main cause of environmental degradation, and that increased economic wealth will therefore enable countries to afford better environmental protection, and that with rising income levels, consumer expectation for more environmentally friendly products will also grow. Table 2, variables used in the analysis. Variables, symbol, unit of measure, and source. Human Development Index, ADI, 0 to 1. United Nations Development Programme Human Development Reports, foreign direct investments net inflow, percent of GDP in host countries, percent of GDP, World Bank indicators, 2019. Sustainable Development Index, SDI, 0 to 1, United Nations Development Programme, Human Development Report 20. Regression analysis and estimation method. In the study, we used the method of desk literature review, descriptive statistics method, and a regression method. By combining the time series across a reasonable number of years, we have identified a relationship between change in foreign direct investment, Human Development Index and Sustainable Development Index. The regression analysis commonly make use of least square. The HAC method and autocorrelation coefficient is used for estimation of model parameters. If nothing about trending variables necessarily violates the classical linear model assumption. If we ignore this possibility, we may find a spurious relationship between epsilon and one of explanatory variables. We have eliminated this problem by detrending. We have applied the so-called Koikin transformation, the geometric distribution lake model, to establish the dynamic link between FDI and SDI, between FDI and HDI, and between HDI and SDI. Koik 19. Objective and hypothesis of the study. 1. Foreign direct investments, FDI, has had a positive impact on Human Development Index, HDI, and a positive impact on the Sustainable Development Index, SDI. Foreign direct investment, HDI, have had a great impact on prosperity measured by HDI compared to sustainable development measured by SDI. The effect of the impact of foreign direct investment, FDI, on well-being measured by HDI and sustainable development measured by SDI is not only in 1 year of investment, but extends the effect over the a short description of foreign direct investments in Albania. The value of the stock for the year 2019 has been 8.5 billion euros and has increased by 900 million euros or 12.4% compared to the previous year. The largest part of the stock is occupied by investment in the energy sector at 28%, followed by the extractive industry sector at 14.4%, the information and communication sector with 13.1%, and the financial insurance activity sector with 12.7%. According to the country, the largest part of the stock is occupied by Swiss investment at 18%, followed by Dutch investment at 15%, Canadian and other investments, Bank of Albania Statistics 2020. The law of foreign investment is based on the principles of equality, non-discrimination, and protection of the trend. There was a strong positive relationship between foreign direct investments, FDI, and the HDI, Human Development Index. Our coefficient is 0.79, as well as a stronger positive statistically significant relationship between foreign direct investment, FDI, and Sustainable Development Index, SDI. Our coefficient is 0.81. The Sustainable Development Index, SDI, has had a positive trend over the years, increasing on average by 0.014 every year, and an average value for the period of 0.77%. In the table 3, you can see the trend of SDI. The Human Development Index, HDI. The Human Development Index, HDI, has had a positive trend over the years, increasing on average by 0.013 every year, and an average value for the period of 0.74. And you can see also on the figure of the trend, a parabolic one, for the Human Development Index and for the Sustainable Development Index. Present foreign direct investment role in Sustainable Development Index, SDI. Foreign direct investments have played an important role in the Sustainable Development Index. 1% change in foreign direct investments has been accompanied by a 1.4% change in the Sustainable Development Index. Here you can see the graph that show the relationship between the trending foreign direct investment and Sustainable Development Index. COIC model SDI by FDI. This impact does not appear with the first year but extends the effect of several years. The lambda coefficients such as lambda greater than 0 and less than 1. The effect of lag on epsilon becomes progressively smaller. As the value of lambda is closer to 1, the slower the rate of decline, thus the distance past value of x will have a sizable impact on epsilon. Whereas the closer lambda is to 0, the more rapid and decline and the influence of x on epsilon dies out quickly. For model table 7, epsilon is SDI, x FDI. Rate of decline of lambda is 0.89 or 89.9%. Speed of adjustment is 10.1%. Median lag is 6.5 years. Mean lag 8.9 years. And here in table 7 you can see COIC model, so-called. In table 8 we present the COIC model, so-called COIC model, ADI by FDI. For model table 8, epsilon is ADI, x FDI, rate of decline of lambda is 93.5%, speed of adjustment 6.5%, median lag 10.3 years, mean lag 14.38 years. And you can see here in the table 8, so-called COIC model. In table 9, you can see COIC model, SDI by HDI. For model table 9, epsilon is SDI, x is ADI. Rate of decline of lambda is 61.9%. Speed of adjustment is 0.38. Median lag is 1.4 years and mean lag is 1.6. Conclusions. Foreign direct investments have given half the effect on Sustainable Development Index SDI within the first 6.5 years. The effect lasts an average of 8.9 years. Foreign direct investments have given half of the effect on Human Development Index within the first 10.3 years. The effect lasts an average of 14.3 years. The impact of Human Development Index, ADI, on the Sustainable Development Index, SDI, is short-term. The effect lasts 1.6 years and gives half of the effect within 1.4 years. Without denying the fact that foreign direct investments in Albania have played a very important role not only in the economic development of the country but also in sustainable development, there are still big challenges ahead. Some investors continue to perceive Albania as a difficult place to do business due to corruption, the informal economy, frequent change in fiscal legislation, unfair competition, and etc. Many challenges remain of improving and implementing environmental impact rules and facilitating procedures for investment in sectors such as renewable energy, etc.